I'm Carol Mayer. I'm chair of the Points CAC, and I also have chaired what we call the RCAC, the collection of the 19 CACs around Raleigh for the last 2.5 years. And I'd like to welcome you all tonight, finally, to our 2017 Annual Neighborhood Awards presentation. And we are honored to have all of the award folks here tonight. We can't wait to hear your stories because we haven't heard from all the other CACs, so we'll all be enlightened tonight. So we are very pleased tonight to honor 17 recipients from our 19 CACs. And each of you has really committed and contributed to the betterment of the community and the neighborhoods in which you serve, which therefore enriches Raleigh as a whole. And we really want to thank you and look forward to hearing your stories this evening. And with that, I'm going to just do a 1 second of history here. I know we're tight on time, but you may know that the CACs were created in about 1972 when the city had about 100,000 people. And I read some old literature that said at the time the city didn't really have all the departments and staff that it has now. And so the CACs were involved in transit planning and city planning and urban planning, which was really interesting to me. But today, 4 decades later, we have 19 CACs, and each CAC really helps drive discussions at the community level about what's going on in that community and those neighborhoods. And the intent is that we try to bring information out to people so they can understand it better, and it's not intended to replace any of the city communications. It's to further that and further discussion, and then collect any feedback, positive or otherwise, and get that back to City Council and to the departments that are involved. So that's our role. And if you consider that each CAC has 3 to 4 officers times 19, you can imagine the thousands of hours of community service time that we contribute to the City of Raleigh. With that, congratulate you all, and I appreciate Mayor McFarland's going to make a few comments, and then we will get started. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure. Thank you, Carol, and I will keep this brief because we are a little behind, but I do want to take just a moment to thank everyone here, all the CAC chairs, all of the recipients, because I know, some of you have been working at this for a very long time. Some of you are a little newer to this, but you are really the people that have spent years and years giving your time, giving your talent, volunteering to really build the essence of what the city is. And that's just so incredibly important. And I think that really speaks to who we are as a community and what makes Raleigh such a special city. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm very honored and proud to be here. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight we're very honored to also have a MC with us. It will not be me, you'll be very glad to know. We have Brian Schrader from WRAL News, who is going to be guiding us through this evening's program. Brian's a reporter and an anchor on the morning news, and he's been with WRAL over 11 years. And he studied mass communications at Campbell University. And one interesting thing I found in his bio that you'll have to tell us about is that you have a tank full of ghost shrimp. So I don't know what ghost shrimp are, but you'll have to tell us the story in there somewhere. Thank you, Brian.
My pleasure. Thank you all very much. I appreciate you having me here tonight. So yeah, I had these little ghost shrimp because you don't really have to take care of them. They're little tiny ghost shrimp. And then my brother thought that it would be a great idea to introduce some other fish into the aquarium. And some natural selection happened, and the ghost shrimp went away. But I've graduated to a dog now, to a mini schnauzer, and she is perfectly happy and healthy, so that's good. Thank you so much for being here tonight. This is a special evening as we recognize individuals and organizations who are doing so much here in the city of Raleigh. And I would just ask you as you come up and speak to get right onto the microphone. You got to get really close so we all can hear here. Let's talk about the criteria for these neighborhood awards. The RCAC recognizes individuals and organizations that have made significant contributions to neighborhoods all across Raleigh with these annual neighborhood recognition awards. Each year, the individual CACs nominate the individuals, they nominate groups, they nominate nonprofits, grassroots organizations, and businesses for these awards. And the criteria for the awards based on making a positive impact in neighborhoods by enhancing the visual environment, preserving the character of the area, improving buildings, landscaping and signage, things like that, also preserving or enhancing the natural environment, and contributing to the community or to neighborhood initiatives. So some very important work, and we're happy to be able to recognize you for that excellent work tonight. And we're going to start with the West CAC and Mr. Benson Kirkman.
Good evening. As you can tell, I am not Benson Kirkman. This is Benson Kirkman. My name is Michi Vojta, and I am the Vice Chair of the West CAC, and we are very excited to get to go first this time. And the West CAC is honoring Athens Drive Community Library. The Athens Drive Community Library, located within Athens Drive Magnet High School, has been warmly described as the heartbeat of our community. Established in 1979 when the school was built, the Joint Library serves both the high school students and the public and has developed a well-deserved reputation as the cultural magnet of the area. This jewel has the distinction of being the only one of its kind in all of Wake County, the only joint library. Athens Drive Community Library provides a number of services common to most county libraries, which many of you probably visit, I hope you do, including regular programming for toddler age through elementary school age children, preschool kindergarten readiness playtimes, holiday special parties and observances such as Halloween, candy houses in December, and Valentine's for veterans in January and February. It hosts the annual summer reading program for both adults and children. It hosts super specials and author events, things like having magicians and jugglers and other and musicians, audio and ebook products, and also an online services such as language lessons, book club packages, and book recommendations, and the like. However, it is unique, and it also provides benefits specific to its unique situation of being a joint library, including a strong partnership between different county organizations, like the public school system and the public libraries, also Wake Tech Community College and NC State with some evening classes. There's a cost savings due to the shared space, which is terrific. And then the Magnet High School has a program called Baby Jags, which is a preschool program, and it serves special population students as well in the library. It has a greater database and study resources and accessibility with extended hours because of the fact that it's a public library as well as a high school library. And the high school has a teen core opportunity for students and the public to be involved and acquire volunteer hours for courses and clubs. It provides a lot of English as a foreign language services for the large multicultural community. And it also serves as a common meeting space for local groups and ad hoc book clubs and other services like that. 2 years ago, the county side of the library was improved yet more to better provide its valuable services with a new sidewalk along Athens Drive for improved pedestrian and bike access, expanded library parking facilities and spaces, and upgraded traffic signage for the neighborhood patrons. And it also includes an outdoor classroom and a beautifully landscaped courtyard. So again, it's very unique. It's very unique. It does the standard library services, but it also is very unique. And for this, the West CAC values and celebrates the Athens Drive Community Library and congratulates it on winning the West CAC Neighborhood Recognition Award for 2017. And Ms. Lauren Nicholson is the branch manager, and if she would come up, please.
Real quickly, let me add a historical note. When Athens Drive High School was built, there was a new partnership formed that saved all of us money, and it still does, with Lake Johnson Park, the library, and the high school. And that's one reason a lot of us love living where we live. Is that partnership is still very special, and it also saves you money every day with your tax dollars.
where I took my SATs. Special place in my heart. At this point, we're going to welcome our friends from the Wade CAC and Miss Donna Bailey.
Well, I'm not Donna, but she's training me up really well right now. Our nominee is Ruth Little. Ruth has been giving to the community since she arrived in the Wade CAC in 1991. From her service on the University Park Homeowners Association Board and input on zoning issues to researching and writing the University Park Walking Tour and a history of Cameron Park. From restoring and preserving her home as one of the area's best examples of modernist residences erected by African Americans to co-founding the Roundabout Art Collective, Ruth has been connecting and preserving community here for over a quarter century. Neighborhood Recognition Award winners enhance the health, safety, and appearance of their neighborhoods, make our communities better at the grassroots level, and elevate the quality of our lives and that of our city. In her time at the Wade CAC, Ruth Little has certainly given all these, but her contributions go even beyond these gifts, because she's reached across time and community divides to connect us to our history and future generations to their roots. Ruth is a founding member of the Friends of Oberlin Village, a group dedicated to preserving, protecting, and celebrating historic Oberlin Cemetery and Oberlin Village. Originally home to Raleigh's largest community of freedmen who had been slaves before the Civil War, the area's historic architecture and flavor was disappearing with new development along Oberlin Road and its adjoining neighborhoods. In 2006, Ruth began attending City Council and other administrative committee meetings to protect the neighborhood's character from adverse effects of uncontrolled development and unsympathetic infill construction. In 2012, she prepared a Raleigh Historic Landmark Report for Oberlin Cemetery, resulting in historic landmark designation for the site that is home to many graves of original 19th century freedmen community members. Ruth crafted an Oberlin Village Historic Overlay District report in 2016, including an architectural survey of 40-plus resident properties and a historical and cultural analysis of the district's significance to Raleigh and to North Carolina. In 2017, she worked with the Friends of Oberlin Village to demonstrate public support for the historic district and championed council designation and protection of Oberlin Village as a historic overlay district. Most recently, she was instrumental in obtaining and placing a historical marker commemorating Oberlin Village and its history. Oberlin Village's story of resilience and community is a vital part of Raleigh's heritage that has been falling to new development and all but vanishing in the wake of our city's growth. In preserving and protecting the memory and remnants of this freedman community, Ruth has led us to maintain connection to where we came from, and through that gain a better understanding of who we are. We are in her debt.
I'm very honored to be here, and I'm extremely grateful to have been put in the city of Raleigh. I can't imagine being in a more wonderful city. I enjoy it more all the time. And to have been given a passionate history and a passionate love for preservation and history and people so that I can help in this great work. Thank you very much.
We're going to hear now from our friends at the Southwest CAC and Connie Crumpler. Who has appeared on WRAL TV News.
Autographs will be given at the door. The Southwest CAC would like to recognize Healing Transitions, formerly known as the Healing Place, for their outstanding service and dedication to our community for those seeking recovery from alcohol and other drugs from the immediate area. 80% of the men who have completed the program still remain in recovery a year later. Healing Transitions offers a place to return to a meaningful and productive life. The men are given an opportunity not only to recover from addiction, but to gain self-esteem that is so often lost when they reach rock bottom. And that is so important, to have people be able to look them at each other in the eye and call each other by name is important to these men. And they get that self-esteem and that feeling of self-worth when they have gone through these programs. Healing Transitions strives to be a good neighbor, and they work hard to be a good example both to their clients and the community around them. We appreciate their outreach and being a valuable part of the conversation on how we improve our city and make Raleigh the best it can be. We are so proud and blessed to have Healing Transitions as our neighbor in Southwest Raleigh. And Chris Budnick is here to accept the award.
My name's Chris Budnick, and on behalf of our board, our staff, alumni, and participants, I want to thank the Southwest CAC as well as the entire city of Raleigh for being a community that believes in second chances and believes in giving people an opportunity to fulfill their potential. I can speak as a person who's also in long-term recovery from addiction, that when folks are given an opportunity to get into recovery and change their life, not only do they make better family members, but they make better community members. And we've been blessed by the partnership that we've had and the long support of the CAC going back to Benson Kirkman when we first opened. And just want to say thank you so much for recognizing the work we do.
Very important work that they're doing there at Healing Transition. From the Southeast CAC, Ulysses Lane.
Good evening. Good evening. Good. The Southeast CAC is proud to present the Team Award or recognition to Shalonda Lloyd and Angela Cameron for their Neighborhood Recognition Award. They are nominated by their Brandywood Subdivision Neighborhood Association for the work that they did to organize a clothing and household item drive for a family that was burned out. The family was burned out in March, and that was the morning right after we had the big fire downtown. And it was really, really amazing that Shalonda was able to recognize the needs with disasters that are going on all over the country and all over the world now. It remind you of the disasters that can happen to you or next door to you anytime. And so Shalonda recognized this and was able to use a common thing that we're using now, Nextdoor. She got on Nextdoor to communicate with her neighbors the needs that this family would have. And she recognized that they lost everything and that we could lose anything at any time. So by going on there, she got Angela to assist her in collecting these items. And I noticed from Nextdoor that there were about over 9 different neighborhoods in the Southeast area that donated items. And so it's a good way to see that reaching out, not just in that one subdivision, but all over the Southeast area, and we probably could go even further. And so with those donations, she was able to collect them and deliver them to this family. And the Southeast CAC recognized this community activity as an opportunity to show that neighbors helping neighbors, and that we want to encourage this type of community activity and support. And so we recognize Shalonda and Angela. Angela couldn't be here. She's a little nervous, so I don't know if she wants to say anything.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Another round of applause. Now from the South Central CAC, Danny Coleman.
The South Central CAC is very proud to present to you Mr. Nathaniel Hines. Mr. Hines is proof that any of us, no matter our age, can be active and engaged in our communities. At 97 years old, 97 years old, he just gave up his convertible about a year or so ago. 97. Mr. Hines has been a committed member of the South Central CAC for nearly 30 years. He resides in the Hargett Oaks subdivision. Many of those years he has held a position as a CAC treasurer with the South Central CAC. This World War II veteran has demonstrated over the years, over those 97 years, his commitment to people and communities, which has spanned, I don't even want to say those years again, but it's just such an amazing feat. His service was with the Peace Corps in Liberia, West Africa, and in Sierra Leone, West Africa. He has engaged in the master planning process of the John Chavis Memorial Park. He's a past involvement in voter education and now serves as a local poll worker. He's a member of Rush Metropolitan Baptist Church, AME Church, excuse me, I don't want to get ran out of the community here. Mr. Hines is a graduate of North Carolina A&T. There you go. With that 44 win the other day. He's active in the university chapter of the Aggie Alumni Association, and the chapter engages in many numerous community outreach activities throughout the year. To recognize his contribution to the chapter, the Nathaniel L. Hines Scholarship Fund was started in his honor. The South Central CAC membership is honored to recognize Mr. Nathaniel Hines with the RCAC Recognition Award for his past and ongoing services to this community. And I'd just like for you to just give this fine gentleman a round of applause.
Thank you very much for those tributes you're giving me. I told Danny I didn't think I deserved this. Maybe I do. But I appreciate working with the CACs. As a matter of fact, I still go and do what I need to do to help make the CAC one of the great organizations in the community. When I came to Raleigh in 1970, I came out of industry in New York, Long Island, and I said there was 125,000, I think, in Raleigh when I came here. 125 people? But I heard somebody say there was 100,000. But somewhere I had read that there was 125,000. But you see how we have grown. It has come to be almost a metropolitan, really, as traffic can tell you that. And by the way, they didn't pick up the fact that I graduated. I worked 10 years at NC State as internal auditor. And that's where I retired from. And thank you very much for giving me this tribute.
See, a life of giving back keeps you young, right? Excellent. And now from the South CAC, Dr. Norman Camp.
Thank you for calling me Dr. Camp, but he's my chair, and he asked me to stand in for him, and I do what my chair asks me sometimes. It's an honor being here. Welcome, Mayor, City Councilman, Russell Hall, and all you Ruffin Hall. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I saw him twice today. I should not forget that. I'm wearing pink because this is the month of the National Breast Cancer Month, and it needs to be recognized. And I'm standing in for my Honorable Dr. Camp. Love this guy. I love everyone sitting in here, trust me. The nominee for the South CAC, Brother Alexander Kitlins. First of all, he's a God-fearing man. He's a family man, and also a community person. I've been knowing him for a few years. I'm not going to tear along with you, but I'm going to give you something brief on it. Alexander Kitlins is an outstanding citizen of the South CAC Advisory Council. He has a positive attitude, eager to contribute positive things and events that make the South CAC one of the best in the city. He's certainly deserving of this recognition award for his outstanding contributions to make the South CAC a nice community to reside in, raise kids who respect property in positive ways. And then he reached adulthood following in the ways of his parents to keep our community beautiful and attractive. It is now a great honor to present South CAC honoree, received this great honor award, Alexander Kitlins. Do you have anything you want to speak on?
I can, but
Well, if you got something briefly, that's fine.
His actions speak for themselves, right? Exactly. Now from the Northeast CAC, Rena Bratz Brown.
Thank you, Charles. Good evening. Hope everyone can hear me. From the Northeast CAC, I want to give a special thank you to Lillian Thompson. She's our past chair, and I want to say thank you, just an acknowledgement. On behalf of the Northeast CAC, I'm honored to present to you tonight our awardee, Charles Good. Charles Good is an extraordinary individual. He unselfishly gives back to his community and makes every effort to enrich the city of Raleigh. Charles is an active member of his HOA and other committees and associations throughout Raleigh. What makes Charles stand out in his commitment and dedication is his commitment to Northeast CAC, where he volunteers to hold the position of secretary. When you meet Charles, you might think he's extremely quiet and reserved, as you can see standing here, but hang out with him for a while, and you will see that his wheels are always turning, and he's always thinking and planning and being proactive. As a program manager, Charles comes equipped with the same professionalism, ethics, and impeccable skills when supporting his CAC. He brings innovative ideas, system design, and data management ideas with the growth and advancement of the Northeast CAC at the forefront. Charles raises the bar to a level that is exciting to see and great to be a part of. Charles is not only the CAC's keeper, he empowers us to push the envelope of the community engagement one step further every single meeting. Thank you, Charles.
I'm very honored and appreciative. Of course, what I do wouldn't be possible if I didn't work with a fabulous group of enthusiastic volunteers who are open to new ideas and trying new things. Also, having access to so many knowledgeable city people and elected officials that are willing to share with us and help us, it just makes for a great team effort. A lot of things that I do are because of about 30 years of volunteer service with other organizations like Scouting, and none of that would be possible without the loving support of my wife, Kay, who's here tonight.
Now from the North Central CAC, Ms. Octavia Rainey.
Hi, I'm Octavia Rainey. I'm the chair of North Central. Terry is the vice chair of North Central. I would like to say to Chris, but first I would like to say to the city manager, Ruffin Hall. It is excellent when you have a city employee that serves with excellence. I want to say this again, that served with excellence. Never has an attitude, always there to serve. He represents what you want in staff. That is serving with excellence. And he really deserves a raise. So I just want to make that sure. He deserves a raise. I have to tell this joke before I talk about some of the things that Chris has done that is so outstanding. You know, I'm good for asking the mayor to meet me somewhere, but I never tell people she's coming to meet me. This particular day, I sent her to Tarboro Road. I forgot to tell Chris she was coming, okay? Chris steps out, and there was the mayor just standing in the middle of the center. And she looked at Chris looked at her, and she said, "Have you seen Octavia?" Chris said, I ain't seen her. Boy, Chris gave me a fit. But I would like to say this. North Central has a great deal of activities. We do a Breakfast with Santa, our African American Black History Month program. We do National Night Out. We do a mini series of outdoor concerts at Tarboro Road. Oh my God, we do about 10. And Chris has all of those on the schedule, which means for us, we continuously ask to have the outdoors set up, extra things coming in. Don't forget that, Ruffin, all of this. But I would say to Chris would get there early to work with us. He works with Terry extremely well, but his attitude is always friendly, open, and very loving. Chris, don't ever change, because that's so important in moving up in life. Don't ever change that. But again, to our city manager, serving with excellence is the key, okay? Okay, and he's always smiling. So Chris, you really deserve this, because I know sometimes I could be a piece of works, but everybody know me. But Chris, you're always there. And I would like to say thank you so much. Terry?
Chris, I'd just like to say, Chris is an absolute gem. He is always dedicated. He goes above and beyond. He comes early. He stays late. The kids love him. He loves the kids. And he is an absolute, he has the most wonderful personality. He's patient. He's kind. He's exuberant. And he is just a great person, and I so much enjoy working with him, and I find him to be a great asset to our neighborhood. Thank you, Chris.
Now, Ruffin, he deserves a raise and a promotion, Ruffin. Ruffin, you heard it, Marshall? He needs a promotion, okay? I love you, Chris. You want to say something?
I just want to say thanks. Let my wife know I am at work when I'm saying I'm at work. They just work me a lot, but I'm there. And so we just got a little one brought into our lives, and so it's been a transition, but it's been good. So I just want to thank her. I want to thank my dad and my brother here tonight. My dad instilled in us a good work ethic, and so that's where it comes from. So I just really want to thank him. And then my brother, who's my rock. So none of this I will be able to do without my staff. So I also want to shout out to my staff at Tarboro Road. They're great. My Parks and Rec family, I can come to them anytime with anything, and they'll make sure we get it. So just thank them, and thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Miss Rainey, would you like to be my agent? We'll talk. All right, now from the North CAC, Michael O'Sullivan.
Good evening. Good evening. You should recognize Doug Hill here. I think Doug has served in just about every CAC in the city, according to him, and I'll take his word for it. But he's been at the North CAC a lot. Of course, he lives in the North CAC district, too. So we appreciate all he's done for us. When I first started attending CAC meetings about 4 or 5 years ago, we had a lot of controversial cases come before us. And Doug worked for the planning department and had more knowledge than I could absorb, or any of us could absorb, in the time allotted when he started telling us why things were the way they were and how they worked. But he was very patient with us, and encyclopedic knowledge of the rules and regs, and impressed all of us. And so when he retired this spring, we said, well, here's a guy who gave his heart and soul to what he did for 22 and a half years, I think, 25 if you add it all together, all the service time, and delivered to us great work and understanding of concerned citizens and what they were going through when they had cases that were complicated and controversial. And so he's very well deserving of this award. We appreciate him very much.
Thank you all very much. I am humbled by this award because I am embarrassed at the same time as the humility is shining through. I really feel you all deserve the awards. I have just, in my capacity and serving on the city staff, had the honor and pleasure of working with all of you, getting to know what the city goes through every day, getting to know what my fellow employees have to offer to the city because they are making presentations as well. It's a joy to be here tonight because I've missed that since I've retired, actually, because you all are the life's blood of the city. You all are the people who make this city work. And I really feel you should be up here, and I should just be sitting there, more likely standing and applauding for everything you do. Thank you for this recognition. But again, I believe that you all are the ones who deserve the highest honors for all the work you do. Thank you very much.
Now, from the Mordecai CAC, Damon Vaughn.
Hi, I'm Damon Vaughn. I'm a co-chair at the Mordecai CAC. I'm here to present the Neighborhood Recognition Award to the Oak City Cycling Project. I'd like to recognize the city staff for putting on this event and also recognize the city councilman and the mayor, of course, for being here. And most of all, to the award recipients tonight. Thank you for everything you do for our community and make Raleigh a great place to be. The Oak City Cycling Project is a vibrant and community-oriented, locally owned business that sponsors or collaborates on many charity events, promotes better health for our bodies and the environment, and was a pioneer in the early redevelopment of the Person Street business corridor. The owners, Keith Metziger, David Zell, and Jared Harbor, along with employees Brandon Capperson, Jarrett Thompson, and Athena Wolin, are head over heels in love with the bicycle and believe that this is the best form of transportation on the planet. The cycling shop focuses on increasing bicycle ridership through sales, service, outreach, and community. It sells new and used bikes and accessories, offering dozens of brands of bikes. They will help you custom build your own bike if you want. They service bikes and offer community stands for lease so people have a place to work on their own bikes. And they offer a small beer bar so you can enjoy a cold one when you need one while you're waiting on your bike. The Oak City cycling has become a favorite gathering spot for bicyclists and just about anyone who wants to stop by. For the past 3 years, they've been named Independent Weekly's best bike shop in Wake County in the Triangle area. They're very community-oriented and offer a number of events, including a free 1-hour bike maintenance class on the second Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m., 24-hour overnight bike camping trips to Umstead Park and Falls Lake, and beyond. The third Thursday, cruiser rides leave from the shop at 7:30 p.m. monthly. In addition, Oak City Cycling is involved with and sponsors Oaks and Spokes, Raleigh's cycling nonprofit organization. They sponsor the Beehive Collective's B-Ball each year. The Beehive Collective is a giving circle that awards grants to nonprofits working to make Raleigh a better place. They host annual part swap in conjunction with Kiddical Mass, which is a bike ride for kids and their families. They also host a charity alley cat bike race called the Hep Cat Alley Cat to raise money for Safe Haven for Cats. The Oak City project is a bike shop, but it's more than just a bike shop. The Mordecai CAC applauds the community outreach and welcoming spirit of Oak City Cycling and appreciates its contributions to making our community a stronger and a better place. So thank you.
Thanks, Damon, and everyone here for the great honor. I just want to say it's so humbling and rewarding to own a home and a business in a neighborhood where we can walk safely and bicycle to work every day. We have 4 of us working at our bike shop most days, and hardly any of us ever drive a vehicle to work. And so just want to encourage you all to ride your bike and walk whenever you can. And if you ever need any bike work, come see us. And just want to just one other thing I want to say is it's been so great to see the North Person Street neighborhood develop around the business. When we moved in almost 6 years ago, the strip across the street was vacant, and now it's a flourishing business corridor. And thanks to the Mordecai CAC, and I know Philip Bernard wishes he could be here today, but he's done so much work to make this a gem just north of downtown near the Krispy Kreme. So thank you guys so much.
I remember I did a story about Oak City Cycling Project right when it opened.
That's right.
And then I just, on the ride back, I was like, what cool people. Great idea. Glad it's going well. Now, from the Midtown CAC, Susan Don.
Good evening. I'm Susan Don. And we'd love to have you guys line up over here. Yeah. Good evening. I'm Susan Don, and I'm here with Lubin Pravat. We are co-chairs of the Midtown CAC, and in Patrick Martin's absence, we're here to recognize 10 individuals. Okay, they came together to contribute their expertise to create conditions for 2 large zoning projects. One was with the Kane Realty Project, and the other DeWitt Carolinas Project in North Hills East along St. Albans Drive. Will Yudusky is our favorite millennial, and he has broad experience in construction. He served as our knowledgeable, dedicated, and even-handed chairperson. Jimmy Williams. Jimmy brought reams of relevant data and insight from his work in real estate, and he shared his feelings as a longtime resident in a changing environment. Alan Wiggs. As a former CAC chairperson, Alan knows how city government works, and he shared his feelings as a longtime resident. Alan knows how government works, and he is a strong advocate for bicycles and for stormwater control. Dale Tiska. Dale's memory of past events in Midtown and her ability to apply them to current issues brought clarity to our deliberations. Ed Timberlake. Ed was a founding member who helped establish the committee. Karen Solari. Karen researched the traffic impacts of development and virtually single-handedly created and analyzed a SurveyMonkey tool that collected data from over 100 Raleigh residents. And Sharon. As a realtor and neighbor across the street from the rezoning area, Anne volunteered to take notes. She was directly responsible for the carefully created conditions the committee hammered out. Shelley Parker. It was Shelley who suggested that interested residents get together immediately after a 2016 MCAC meeting. That suggestion resulted in the work we are honoring tonight. Larry Helfand. Larry's love of science and the environment resulted in conditions for both projects that include increasing setbacks, creating buffers, and planting trees and other greenery. And Will, well, if we would be happy, we're honor these 10 people, 9 of whom are here. And then I think Will is going to say a little something.
This is good. So we were involved in two cases, Z1316 and Z2816, one of which was a great project and a great experience with that developer. The other was not, on both counts. They were both approved, by the way. But the good news is that we really do have an intelligent and committed group of people that the next time we have a land use case come up in Midtown will be parsed with equal skill or better. So, by the way, Southwest CAC, you also have low-density residential right next to regional mixed use, so you should probably work on getting that plan revised in the next year or two. Seriously, wherever you are. Have fun. Thanks.
All right, from the Hillsborough CAC, Bob Geary.
Like a number of presenters, I'm not Bob Geary. I'm Will Hooker, and I am the vice chair of the Hillsborough CAC. And tonight we're honoring Mary's Pantry. And I've asked several of the volunteers to come up. Mary Montfort and Siobhan Grimes, Wayne Bostic, and Melvin Montfort, Mary's husband. I'm going to read you why they got the award, and it's going to be quick. Mary's Pantry is a philanthropy started by Mary K. Montfort of Raleigh in 2003. It operates out of the state AFL-CIO building on Hillsborough Street as part of the nonprofit A. Philip Randall Institute, a senior constituency group of the National AFL-CIO. The pantry is open every weekend afternoon. Volunteers collect surplus food from the area grocery stores and solicit food contributions from neighbors in Cameron Park, Cameron Village, and other nearby neighborhoods. The food is given to the needy who can take home 1 bag of groceries per month. Recipients include the homeless, jobless, students. No one is turned away if they ask for help, subject only to 1 bag per month maximum. Most recipients are referred by the several nearby social service agencies and nonprofits. Printed information about healthcare services they may need is also available at the pantry in English and in Spanish. The philanthropy, with the help of the supportive neighbors throughout the Hillsborough CAC, also collects donated school supplies, including backpacks, paper, pen, markers, and such for needy students who attend Raleigh Elementary School. Mary's Pantry is a gift to the undeserved in our city. It is also a gift to its neighbors, presenting us with a simple way to share what we have with people, their children, who have very little. And I would like Mary to say a few words. Mary is one of those personalities. She never meets anyone who is not a friend. And she has a vision. She has a heart as big as all outdoors. And I am honored to present Mary.
He's trying to make me cry. First of all, I must give greetings to my Lord and Savior for allowing me to be here in your presence. Thank God Almighty. Next, Hillsborough CAC. Gosh, y'all, thank you for such a prestigious honor to be here. To my volunteer team, Couldn't do it without you. Bless each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, and thank you.
And now from the Forestville CAC, we have Toshiba Rice.
I think that my mouth is just a little bit big enough so everyone can hear me. Can you hear me? I know that less is best at this point in time in the program. It's time to wind it up and go home and watch some of our favorite shows, right? So Gail and Edmund Gayton are who we are honoring on this evening. Forestville CAC is the 19th CAC and the last CAC that was formed with the City of Raleigh. So we're new to this. We started out with about 4 or 5 individuals. The Gail and Edmund Payton, actually Gayton being one of them. They were consistent throughout the entire process. When there wasn't a chair or when there was a transition of chairs, and then when I became chair. And so Gail and Edmund Payton are not here tonight. Unfortunately, they had to go out of the country. They are this awesome couple that has attended every single citizen engagement, police force, Raleigh Leadership Academy. They've attended every single opportunity that there is for community engagement as a citizen. Not only that, even when they're out of town visiting their grandchildren, if they're not going to make the CAC meeting, they actually call me and say, we can't make it this month. And so they are the mold of what citizen engagement looks like. And I encourage you to get some Gail and Edmund Gaytons in your CAC. Because they have been instrumental in us growing. We went from about 7 individuals that we have about over 40 individuals every single month. And so I do want to honor them tonight, even though they are not here. Thank you so much.
All right, now from the 5 Points CAC, Neil McLeod. And everybody else is going to go to bed early tonight.
I'm going to watch it tomorrow, too. No, I'm not Carol Meyer. I'm Neil McLeod. I'm the awards chair for our CAC. The 5 Points CAC has a jewel in its midst, the Methodist Home for Children. Founded in 1899, its most profound impact on the Raleigh and 5 Points community has been its compassionate care for thousands of children and youth who lived and grew up on its Glenwood Avenue campus. And since 1979, when it moved from a model of saving children to one of helping children through family preservation. Its family-centered, community-based approach frequently provides the bridge between what's needed for families and children in crisis and what state or local governments can provide in difficult domestic situations. In 2016 alone, 353 children from Raleigh and Wake County were served primarily through early childhood, foster care, and juvenile justice programs. Home services helped 98 youth, 24 with juvenile home service, and 74 with either foster care or therapeutic foster care for children that need mental health services. A word about 2 programs operating in or near 5 Points. The Jordan Child and Family Enrichment Center on Glenwood Avenue is a 5-star center, meets the high standards of child care centers, prepares children for 1st grade, ready to learn, get along, and to contain their aggressive behavior. A major focus, inclusiveness, is created with blended classrooms, enrolling preschoolers who are developing typically with those with special needs through a partnership with the Wake County School System and the Frankie Lemon School. The North Hills Transitional Living Program, a successful public-private partnership with the state's Division of Adult Correction and Juvenile Justice. This program provides a highly structured 12-month residential experience for court-involved 16 to 18-year-old females to help them build the skills they'll need to live independently. They earn the GED or high school diploma, identify career goals, explore post-secondary or vocational studies, volunteer in the community, and learn independent living skills. At completion, they are provided 6 months of aftercare services and mentoring through the Hackley Education and Learning Program. For the many years of stellar service to children and youth in our community, for its forward-thinking leadership, and as one of the first and most successful providers of family preservation in the state, the 5 Points CAC is pleased to recognize the Methodist Home for Children as its 2017 Neighborhood Recognition Awardee. And we have a board member, Jessica Vickers, and Peter Macbeth, the development officer, here to receive the award for the Methodist Home for Children.
We are very grateful for this honor, and I hope some of you do know about our work, especially at the Jordan Center, which is just a terrific child care center, and we're so excited to be in partnership with the Downtown Housing Investment Corporation, DHIC, who I believe next week is going to break ground at the soon-to-be redeveloped Washington Terrace community, and we are going to expand our early childhood program and put a beautiful capacity for 75 children at that new center. It's going to open in August of 2019. So, thank you.
They want your picture, yes. Are you ready for your close-up? And now from the Central CAC, Mr. Sam Alsing.
Good evening, everybody. I am delighted to be here with you this evening to present this year's Central CAC Neighborhood Award to one of Raleigh's finest citizens, Miss Betty Burrell. Ms. Betty has been an outstanding member of the Central CAC since its inception in 1972. In fact, Ms. Betty was the first vice chair of the Central CAC. Some 40-plus years later, she is as committed, as dedicated as she's been over the years since. Her commitment and dedication to her community and to our great city is currently in full display at the Junius and Sorrell Junior Park. And we have the pleasure and honor of having Mr. Sorrell, 95 years old, whom the park was named after, here with us tonight. My fellow Raleigh citizens, I invite you to stop at the park, visit that Mr. Sorrell's park if you get a chance to be in the South Park area. I am pleased to nominate RCAC, pleased to nominate Ms. Burrell. In fact, Ms. Burrell has contributed quite a bit to the park. And I recall during the design of the park and the planning for the park, she was so instrumental in down to the details of colors for the swing sets and things like that. She was concerned about safety. She was instrumental in having the park built and having a quality park for our citizens in South Park. Her continued support for the Central CAC is very much appreciated today as it's been over the years. Ms. Betty is the embodiment of an engaged citizen. The Central CAC is honored to nominate Ms. Betty Burrell for the prestigious award, and I am proud to call her my friend please join me in honoring Miss Betty Burrell. She didn't want to say anything. She just wanted to say thank you.
And I messed up, y'all. My thumb slipped and I skipped right over the East CAC. Will you forgive me? Will you forgive me? All right, Deborah Ford, ladies and gentlemen. Told you I was going to turn into a pumpkin.
Okay, thank you. Well, you know, you have to save the best for last. That's us. That's us. See, that's really skipped over us. But anyway, I'd like to give you a little riddle. What did the forks say to the knives? My, you all look very sharp tonight. I'm Deborah Ford. I'm the chair of the East CAC. And I'm here with two gentlemen. One is Mr. Kevin Bobbitt, and the other is Mr. Jimmy Stewart. Now, I met Mr. Bobbitt about 5 years ago. And since that time, Mr. Bobbitt gave me a little history, but he doesn't know that he gave me this history. I found out that he spent a little time at the Sheriff Baker's motel. I don't know if you all know what that was, but I'm sure they probably call it Sheriff Donnie's dormitories now. But while in the motel, he received visions and a dream. And what he said to himself when he got out, he said, I'm gonna make sure that nobody else makes this journey and stays at this hotel. And there, the dream of KC SSU was formed. That stands for a Comedic, Cultural, Science, and Systems of Unity. Now, after joining with Mr. Stewart and some others, because there's a big family of folk that have been involved with him, they formed the KCSSU. And since forming in the 5 years, we joined the ECAC, started to partnership with him when he wanted to do his annual backpack giveaways. Since then, he's gotten partnerships with the local church in the area, St. Matthew's AME. They do a after-school program, thank you. He also joined with the Wake County Human Services in doing a after-school, a summer food serving program to the kids and other other people in the areas. When I talked to him today, he told me today they started the after-school program again with the children. Now, this time, see, it just showed you when he first started, it was only on weekend. And at that time, it was almost 100 children that would get up to even do anything about a school. But now they're going 4 to 5 days a week. So there are so many other things that the organization is joined with Nate McMillan, who's now the for the Pacers. He's the head coach for the Pacers. What can I say? This man came out of a situation, and now he and others are helping to prevent these things from happening to our young children, boys and girls. It's good things that go on in East Raleigh besides crime. I know that's what you all hear quite a bit of, because I can see it on some of the next doors and some of these other little, about, is that a good neighborhood? Should I move over there? It's a great neighborhood. I've been over there 20 years. And I have to say kudos and to God be all glory for these two gentlemen, because we need men to step up to help these young boys. So I want to ask you all to join me in celebrating these two young men, Mr. Kevin Bobbitt and Mr. Jimmy Stewart. Mr. Stewart is the assistant director. Mr. Kevin Bobbitt is the director. Join me.
Thank you all. KCSSU would like to thank the City of Raleigh for this award, being recognized for the work that we've been doing. It started at Sheriff John Baker's hotel, but I ended up doing 9 years federal prison. And it's been an honor to serve our community. The community that we face and that we serve is one where there's a lot of crime and violence, so it takes a lot of dedication and commitment. So we would like to thank the KCSSU family and everybody who supports us.
And finally tonight from the Atlantic CAC, Shelley Winters.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Am I in this? Okay. First of all, my name is Shelley Winters, chair of the Atlantic CAC, and I just wanted to congratulate all of the awardees tonight and for all of the wonderful work that you do in the community. So tonight from my CAC, we are honoring Mary Scott. So Mary has been the leader of the Garden Committee of Brentwood for 10 plus years. The committee falls under the Brentwood Neighborhood Association. She sets meetings and agendas for monthly meetings, and we have had lectures by city employees, also avid gardeners in Brentwood and other garden clubs in nearby subdivisions, semi-annual plant swaps, semi-annual park work, in the past, she's had garden tours in the spring, and we've worked with other organizations in their festivals and events. We've sold plants that we've gathered from our gardens, like a pass-along plant situation in these events. We have spent many hours in Brentwood Park with cleanups and renovations of flower beds in the park. She has been a lifetime Brentwood resident and taught many years in Wake County system and has now retired, and this is not she. This is Waverly Smith, who is accepting on her behalf. So help me in recognizing Miss Mary Scott for her work and for Mr. Waverly Smith for accepting the award on her behalf.
Mary was unable to attend tonight. Her husband is in bad shape, and he just can't get out of the bed. Bad health, and so she deserves this award. She has done a wonderful job for about 20 years. So, and she does it for each season. Plants the flower gardens at the entrances to Brentwood, all the inbound entrances. So it's real nice just to, when you ride back in, you see nice flower beds. So thank you.
What a cool city, huh? Thanks to you. I really appreciate you letting me be a part of this tonight. Carol has one other announcement for you before we adjourn the proceedings.
I just want to congratulate everyone again. I'm always blown away by the stories that come from this city, and
I'm not seeing him, but the 97, there you are, sir, the 97-year-old man. You have inspired me to start jogging or something so I can live and be active like you are. That's quite incredible. This event is put on by our city engagement and community services staff, and if you guys could please stand. I know many of you are still here. Debbie, Dan, Sheila. They've done a great job putting on the event. Thank you to the mayor and city councilors for being with us, for the city staff. And again, thanks everyone. We really appreciate you celebrating with us tonight. Thanks so much. Good night.